or sidearms, which are both great weapons. We have a handgun and the first burst fire weapon of the game, 2 bullets. Both of them come equipped with embedded sights, and really good sight, by the way. They will never be as powerful as an SMG, but they can do the job if you're like the last survivor, or if the enemy team realizing that you're not the threat, look away.
Yeah.
Now is your turn to shine.
In a pinch, when you really need to just get a kill, she can pull those out.
Yeah.
Now let's go on to her secondary gadgets as well, because she has a few very useful ones.
Yes, the secondary gadgets are definitely tailored to fit the 2 roles we mentioned. There's this first part of the round where you move around, and then you have the impact grenade that allows you to create holes in your defense to have your defenders run around, or even if you are supported by a roamer, make those rotation on a pinch.
Yeah.
Second gadgets, more the second part of the round. If you want to prevent the push, you have the barbed wire, which would increase your ability to prevent the enemy from pushing the bombs.
That's a really deadly combination there with the barbed wire plus the shock.
Yes.
That's going to be tough to counter. Speaking of the counters, though, she is counterable. She does have weaknesses. A lot of people came up to me when they first saw Clash. They were like, you know, I think shields are OP. I think they are unbalanced. So how have you balanced Clash?
Well, she has, like, again, we had a learning in these 2.5 years of having Blitz running around and all, and now we think that we found some ways to have Clash being very interesting to play, but also not as frustrating to play against. And most of those counter comes from that. She cannot melee you at short range. That's not possible for her. So, but you can. You will trigger this semi-guard break that will move the shield to the side and allow you to shoot her legs. However, that means you need to get to close range. To do that, you can use Thatcher. Because Thatcher's EMP will disable the shield and allow you to bypass the taser part of the shield.
Yeah, and we also saw Zofia, and we also saw Capitao as counters. Who do you think is the most, the strongest counter against Clash?
Capitao is definitely the strongest. She's slow, she has a shield on top of that, and the Firebolt, if you place it right, you will kill Clash very fast. Capitao is definitely very strong against Clash, but Thatcher and Zofia can do a pretty good job.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that is a look at Clash coming your way to the test server very shortly, but let's also take a look at her BDUs that are coming with the launch of Grim Sky. Of course, these BDUs are available with the Year 3 Season Pass. This is a head-to-toe customization, and they look really cool. They're sort of Grim Sky themed and Grim Sky colored, so it's super cool. Her art design is wonderful as well.
I love her. She's very beautiful. She's
really
amazingly badass.
Yeah, so you'll be able to play her tomorrow. Another person that you'll be able to play is Maverick. Let's go into Maverick. Who is Maverick, Emilian?
Well, Maverick is an enigma within Siege. And within the Team Rainbow, he's solitary. He's very good at reading human mind, though, but it's difficult to know a lot about him. He's very famous for his precise work, though, and his high adaptability. But outside of that, stay as an enigma.
He's an enigma of a man, an enigma with his gadget, because that gadget is so cool. How does his gameplay designed from your side?
So yeah, the design there was we wanted to bring a third Heartbreaker to the meta. That was key. But we wanted to make sure that it was very different from Thermite and Hibana. And that was a big challenge. And we came up with this idea that allows Maverick to do a very different role than those two.
Yeah. So why, as a designer, as a game designer on Rainbow Six Siege, was it important for you guys to introduce a third Heartbreaker? Why is that important?
There is multiple aspects to this question. One of them, for competitive play, is we introduced pick and ban recently, and despite the fact that the can ban both Heartbreaker and it rarely happens, we still want to make sure that we have 3 options. That's the one thing. Second thing, even more important to us, is the metal breaching role is a very key role in Siege, and people that play that role have limited options, just 2. And we needed a third one to give them a new aspect of how to approach a bomb site, and third on bomb site, Maverick would be extremely relevant contrary to the other 2, or in combination with the other 2.
His gadget is so much different from them, where Hibana and Thermite have this really binary, it's either open or closed. Maverick has a lot of creativity. What are some of the strategies that you've seen in your play sessions?
Well, in practice, we introduced Maverick as a Heartbreaker. That was the key. But what we see in the gameplay, and it's very true, is he stands between Heartbreaker and Disabler. You have Twitch, Thatcher, Thermite, Hibana, and he's somewhere between the 2. Because you can bring him as your main Heartbreaker and try to make small holes, or you can bring him with Thermite to destroy the bandit battery, the new jammers, and you can use him with this specific role.
Yeah. And obviously, he is an alternative to like a Hibana and Thermite, but he has a lot of those synergies.
Yes.
And I think we're going to see a lot of that gameplay as well, where people are using either Thermite to distract or and the Maverick would then flank around and maybe create a couple of kill holes. Is that something that you are expecting players
Definitely.
to find?
That would be, if you don't use him necessarily as a man butcher, which should be rare,
Yeah.
or as a disabler, you have this third option. He's 3 speed, he's fast, and his gadget is fairly silent. So you can just run around and destroy, make some tiny holes in the defense beyond them. And when they're watching Thermite blowing up the wall, they're watching the other way, and then you can get some pretty sneaky kills.
Yeah, again, for a competitive player, how do you think he's going to play?
It's really, again, super tricky, and since he's so creative in his ability to make whatever he wants, I'm really curious to see what they're gonna do. He doesn't have a lot of resources in his gadgets, so he's never gonna replace the Thermite or even Hibana,
Right.
but he can. It's a very new role in the bridging meta, and we're gonna see a lot of interesting things with Maverick.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things, a lot of creativity, and let's take a look at his loadout as well. His loadout's pretty powerful, would you say?
Yeah, fairly potent. It's a classic for an attacker, I would say.
Yeah.
We have a semi-automatic DMR, and we have an assault rifle. Those two very good weapons, and the sound design of those weapons are amazing. It's 3 armor, 3 speed, 1 armor, so very fast. And he has a handgun with that. But the most important and interesting thing about Maverick and his loadout, secondary gadgets.
Secondary gadgets. Tell us a little bit about his secondary gadgets. What are they?
So the secondary gadgets are very important for him. He has 2, Claymore and Smoke. This is 2 very different approaches to Maverick.